morning, guys. Welcome to Shlog number 24, I believe, and we are finishing up that 350XCF, and the motor's all good, ready to rock and roll. But check this out. That's bent, and then so are these. Well, I don't think they're bent, but they're twisted because they're rubber mounted, and they do that. It's not my favorite thing, so I'm going to fix that, hopefully permanently, so it doesn't happen again. Because if you're riding this motorcycle, it's like super duper twisted. Anyway, so we're going to fix that. Hopefully, I think I have one of these. We can get that fixed, and then we'll move on. Zach is bleeding his shock. He's over there for that guy. And yeah, we got lots of work to do, so stick with us. We're going to get this day started off. There we go. Got the old mounts out. Here's the thing. Here they are. They're fine. This whole rubber mount idea is a great idea to help reduce vibration and whatever, all that stuff. But honestly, the flex bars are doing more than that. And ever since Honda and Cowie started running those things forever ago, all it would take is like a little tip over, and then your bars would be tweaked, and nothing would actually be bent or ruined, but it'd be tweaked, and then you'd have to loosen everything up and do it. So, you know, realign everything and get it back together, tighten it back down. Anyway, it's a pain in the butt. So I like these guys. They're made by Zeta. I'll put a link in the description for these things. They're cheap. They're like 18 bucks for the set. Drop those in place, put everything back together, you're good to go. Solve the problem. Like I said, the flex bars are going to handle the little hits and things like that to make this more comfortable. And it's a 4-stroke, so it doesn't vibrate that much anyway. So yeah, this will solve the problem. And they're cool looking. All anodized in orange. Alright guys, so we got the 350 all done, got the bars all straightened out and worked out. Leia wants to say hi. Leia, say hi, puppers. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Good girl. So I know I said I wouldn't talk about ATVs or things with 4 wheels, but I just got to share this as kind of it's more like a small business ownership situation, right? So just the frustrations that can come. So been working on this Can-Am. I had a clunk in the right rear end, jacked it up, figured out the ball joints are bad. Okay, great. Get those parts. Figure, okay, let's get this thing done, get it out of here, because it takes up too much space, and it's got 4 wheels, which is too many. And I'm taking everything apart. And once I had everything loose, let me show you something here. All right. So I got everything loose. And I moved this, and hang on. Let's see. See that? See the bolt moving? That means that the holes are not round. And I'll show you that they're not. You can see those are worn out. So while the bushings in here probably do need to be replaced, which is what I got, and I got new ball joint things, I can't fix this without a welder. And how ridiculous is it that a turbocharged 150 horsepower machine would have steel this thin holding that together? Another reason I don't like side-by-sides is that they're like toys that these companies build and then put these giant motors in and chuck people out into the woods. And I don't blame them. They go fast. It's fun to go fast, but that's not awesome. And like this one has a little bit of reinforcement on it, but not much. And like this has got just a tiny bit, but seriously, it's kind of super flimsy thing. But anyway, we're going to put the 350XCF-W back together now, because that now is taking up space. Alright, that's alright. Let's work on dirt bikes. That's more fun. Alright, so got the 350 cylinder head here, getting ready to build her back up. This is the valve that is causing the problems. Doesn't want to go in its home. This is really stiff. Doesn't want to go. So we got a new unobtainium valve from Del West. And let's make sure it's gonna slide. Hey, look at that. That's what it needs to do. Crazy. Sweet, I'm stoked. So, real quick, a little thing that I've forgotten numerous times in the past. You always put the base washer on before you put the valve seals on. They don't go in the other way. Valve seal. I like to take a little bit of grease, put it on the valve seal. A, it lubricates it. B, it helps hold it in place as you set it down in there to then push on it. There we go. I'm going to check our guide. Good. Makes a nice seal. Can't wiggle it. It's all good. Valve spring compressor. There we go. Got both exhaust valves in, all nice and pretty. Super happy with how that went. Now we'll put the shims that were in them just so we can check everything and make sure it's all good. Slide the rod in here for the followers, and then we'll move on to the intakes. Alright, so we're putting together the intake side, and I just thought I'd share this with you guys in case you didn't know. There goes my compressor. Anyway, if you got a spring that looks like this, it's, you know, less coils and more coils. You always want to put the more coils towards the head, because that's more weight. If you have it up like this, and that's what's moving up and down, you got more weight moving up and down, causing more inertia, more damage to the valves and the valve seats. So I always want to put the heavier part down towards the cylinder head. So, our good friend and customer Don Bobs, who's had some great questions for the Shlog, recently just sent me another question about batteries. And I figured I'd address that as I replace this battery. So this is one of the fancy lithium iron or lithium ion. They have lithium, by the way, they do have lithium iron and lithium ion, two very different things. But this one shakes and moves. So here is my opinion on batteries, right? So a battery has, you know, mainly one job on a dirt bike. It's to start it. Sometimes it's to run the fuel injection, like on the KTM, stuff like that. They use the battery actually to run the fuel injection instead of the stator. So the stator just charges the battery, so it runs the fuel injection. That's why if you have a completely dead battery in a new fuel injection KTM, you are going nowhere, regardless of kickstart or no kickstart. So something good to know. Now, when they came out with these new lithium rigs, they're super duper light. I mean, this thing doesn't weigh anything. It feels like honestly, it feels like a joke. Feels like a box full of nothing. I was all on board. Thought that's cool. You know, they have more cold cranking amps, meaning they can turn the starter motor harder and faster than a normal lead acid. I thought that was great. So I remember I got one. I didn't spend the big money on the Shorai. I think they were over $100 at the time. I bought a ballistic or something. Anyway, and it was great right up until it got cold. And by cold, I mean 35, 40 degrees, which is chilly to be riding a dirt bike, but definitely not out of the realm of possibility, at least not for me. And the thing didn't work. It was miserable. And then I started doing some research and found out that the lithium batteries struggle in the cold, like it's a known problem. So I was like, that's no good. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just the cheap ones or whatever. No, it's all of them. And so I really personally just don't feel like the whole lithium thing is worth the money or the weight savings. Because here's a lead one. I mean, it's definitely heavy, but it's an absorbed glass mat AGM battery. So it's better. It's factory sealed and activated and all that. They're a great battery. And Bike Master, for the one that fits this, a 5 LBS, is $39.95. And they work great. I've actually changed a bunch of people's snow bikes over. Actually, this one right here, for instance, it had a lithium battery in it, and because it was cool to have, and it had, it ended up having lots of problems. It would start anyway, so we put a lead acid battery back in it, and it's been great. Now, there may be some lithium batteries out. In fact, if comment below, like leave things in the comment, because I'm here to learn too, right? If there's some awesome batteries that do well in the cold, let me know. But I found, honestly, I just haven't been really happy. Also, it seems like they go from working to like not working. Just, that's it. Like there's no warning sign, like it goes, whoa, whoa. And not always. I've had some of them kind of slowly die, but it seems like a lot of them just work and then don't work. So I'm just not a huge fan. I know that's what's coming on all the KTMs, and actually our 350XCW has the original lithium battery in it, and it's been good so far. So, you know, maybe it's a good one. I haven't had too many problems with it. So, but yeah, Don, there's my opinion. If I buy a new battery, I just get an AGM and pay $40 for it, and it's all good. Turns the bike over just fine. Of course, I am dealing with, hey, knock it off, dog. Hey, knock it off, knock it off. I'm dealing with a two-stroke, so it takes a lot less to turn a two-stroke over than a four-stroke. But for my money, I'm going to stick with lead acid for now. All right, so okay, so Don also had some other questions about batteries. I had to go get my phone to look at them. So personally, I'm a lead acid guy. I like the AGMs because it's still a lead acid battery, but instead of separate little cells, it's got this glass mat that absorbs the acid. Anyway, whatever. It works the same way. It's just less likely to get hurt in a crash or something like that. Old school ones, like the cells, the actual plates of lead could break, and then your battery's done. So, coffee. Sorry. Don also says, can you place lead acid with a lithium ion? Absolutely. They swap back and forth to do the same thing. And your motorcycle's charging system, let's put this, your dirt bike charging system. I don't know about like big street bikes like Gold Wings that have alternators, things like that to power a whole bunch of stuff and really charge, like heavily charged battery. I don't really know about those, but I know on dirt bikes, all the dirt bike charging systems are totally fine to run with lithium, no big deal. So yeah, you can swap. A lot of guys do it for the weight savings, but honestly, I could just eat less cheeseburgers and shave that weight myself. Now, some of you guys might be thin and fit, and like that 2-pound difference might be the difference, but for me, it's not. Second question. Anyway, another question. When, if ever, battery tenders necessary? Question mark. So I like battery tenders pretty much across the board. Like, unless you're going to ride the bike a whole lot, which I fortunately do, a battery tender is a great idea. They come with a set of pigtails you can just bolt onto the battery, and then have just a little pigtail sticking out that you can just plug in. You don't have to take the seat off or get to the battery. So I think they're a great idea. If you use the battery tender brand or the Optimate, you really do want to get the one that is specific for either lead acid or lithium. Now, I think Optimate makes one that will do either or. Also, if you get the battery tender junior, which only charges at like 0.75 volts. Do you want to hit that button? Are you getting ready to start it?
I got your fluids in it.
Okay, cool. Zach, by the way, Zach is finishing up the 350XCF-W. We're going to see if that thing runs here real soon. So yeah, the battery tender junior will actually work on most lithium batteries. The Optimate version that's specifically geared towards that is better, I would imagine. But I've never really seen a problem with a normal, as long as it's low enough amp hour rating, then it's fine. But the like I said, the Optimate one is definitely better. I think it will actually maintain the lithium batteries better than just the normal ones. And part of his question is, if you're using it, can you use the same battery tender for lead acid lithium ion? The amps is 0.75 or lower. Yes, you can. I just covered that. Yes, you absolutely can. I think the Optimate, though, is better. There's something about it that I read. I honestly just can't remember right now. That's better, but honestly, if you have a pretty decent battery and you're putting it on those super low amp hour battery tenders, you'll be just fine. Number 3, do you have a current top pick for dirt bike battery? Honestly, I just spend the least amount of money possible because none of them have great warranties and all of them can fail. I've seen really expensive batteries fail, just like manufacturing issues. I've seen super cheap batteries last a really long time. So I figure if you get a battery and you take good care of it, and let's talk about what exactly that means in just a second, but if you take good care of it, you're not going to have any problems. So by taking good care, that means you don't want it to go through any super extreme temperatures. So really, really hot is bad and really, really cold is bad. So if your bike lives outside an unheated shed or something like that, you might want to bring the battery in the dead middle of winter. In the summer, it is what it is, right? I mean, you're not going to take the battery out in the middle of the summer, but if you take good care of it, though, they tend to last a long time, and best thing for any of this stuff is just ride the motorcycle, right? As much as humanly possible. Let's see. So top pick is just the one that I can afford. It's the cheapest one. I think if I were going to buy a lithium, I think the Shore Eyes are still actually probably the best. I know Bike Master has a version out that's pretty inexpensive. Western Power Sports has their own one. I think it's Firepower now is what they're calling it, but I think those are pretty much on par. I think the Shore Eyes really are better. I think they're made in Japan instead of China. So there's that. As far as lead acid, Yuasa is the gold standard, always has been. That's what every bike manufacturer comes with if they're using lead acid. So Yuasas are great. They're a little more money. Like I showed you before, I like the Bike Masters. They're cheap and they work great, and they seem to hold up good. Also, for warranty purposes, here's something to consider. I have a really good relationship with my Tuckeraki rep and Tuckeraki as a company. That's who owns Bike Master. So when I have a problem with a Bike Master product, I can get it warranted no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter what happened. My rep is awesome and will take really good care. Unless it's just blatantly the fault of the customer, he'll take really good care of me. Even if it's a little bit out of warranty, he'll help me out. And so you really want to buy something that the person you're buying it from stands behind and has a good relationship with. That's something to think about, even with bike brands, right? So if you buy a KTM, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki, you want to buy it from someone that really likes that brand and deals well with them. It's just a great idea. So final question. Do you have a favorite trailside quick charger / jumper that is compact enough to carry in a backpack? Anti-gravity, best ones out there, hands down. They're great. They last a long time. I've tried the Little Lightning, and it was fine. It's really small, but I don't know. I broke mine, so like not dropping it, but like using it here at the shop. I kind of overloaded it, trying to start a bike at one point, and it like expanded and was not good. And you're not supposed to do that, but I've never had that problem with anti-gravity. They're awesome. So there you go, Don. Anybody else out there is interested? Hope that helps. Yeah, we'll see if this 350 is going to start. All right. So we got the top end back in the old 350XCF-W. Zach's going to start it. We're going to do the priming sequence. There he goes. He bumps it. Did you hear it run? And then, so you bump it. Bzzz, runs the fuel pump. Let the thing turn back off. Bump it one more time. There it goes, running. And now we're going to go ahead and hit it. Oh. So hang on. It's all right. Because probably need to turn the choke, the cold thing. That's right. All right, so these fuel injected guys are funny. You think, oh, fuel injections is so easy to put. But honestly, after you've had them apart and the throttle body off for a while, it takes quite a while to like get everything where it needs to go. So go ahead. Ha-ha! Yeah, there we go. Nice. So all we had to do was pull the cold start thing, which is not a choke because it's fuel injected. So yeah, we got that all running. Sounds really good, like it's supposed to. And because it's a W and it has a thermostat, at least I think it has a thermostat, actually. Oh, sorry. No, it doesn't have a thermostat because we deleted that a while back. I forgot about that. Because thermostats on motorcycles are stupid. We're just going to look in there. Hang on, let me just look in there. Running. Looks good to me. So, I'm gonna turn it off at the end of the day. And yeah, I think we're ready to call this guy. So, just so you know, what we did to this motorcycle to get it ready for this season is full suspension service, front and back. Both forks, the shock, completely brand new fluid, all new seals, bushings, and everything. Well, actually, these bushings were good, but anyway, new chain and sprockets, new tires and mousses, and a complete top end. So he is ready to rock for another lots of miles and hours. I'm pretty stoked about that. He's going to be stoked because he's going to have a trouble-free summer ahead of him. We're really happy about that. Right on, guys. Thanks so much for watching this Shlog. I appreciate it. You know I do. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching these things. It means the world to me. If you think we've earned it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It means a ton if you do. Also, if you click the notification bell so you know when we're doing new videos. We pretty much upload every day that we're open. And usually most every other day anyway. So stay tuned. There's tons more coming. You guys are awesome. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and please find some stinking time to ride your dirt bikes!